Hey guys, Coop here. We're going to start off with part 2, and we're going to talk a little bit about the leather, what kind I use, and also a tool that I left out of the first one. I didn't have one because I use a drill press, but this tool is a leather awl, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a leather awl. You can get an ice pick will do the same thing. But if you don't have a drill press or you don't have a drill, this will work just fine. This will come in handy for stitching your leather when you go to make your holes for stitching your leather. Anyway guys, that's the awl, and now onto the leather. The leather, I use 7 to 9 ounce leather. It's not real thick, it's not real thin. In my opinion, it's just perfect for making a sheath. It's vegetable tanned 7 to 9 ounce tooling leather. You can get this at Hobby Lobby, you can get it at Tandy Leather, you can get it at a lot of different places. I suggest you shop around. Some of your knife making companies or supply companies carry it. It's I know Texas, I'm pretty sure Texas Knife Making Supplies and Jantz carries this. But this is the kind of leather that I'm using, and I buy it in big pieces. It's I think the last two I bought, one was 7 square feet and the other one was like 8 square feet. Anyway, that's the kind of leather that I use. That way it takes the dye real nice, it takes the tooling real nice. Now moving on, let's get started making this sheath. In this video I'm just going to basically show you how to draw out your design, your design of the sheath that you're going to be making. And what you'll need is, I like, you can use regular printer paper, but I like using this cardstock. It's a little thicker, it's a little easier when you cut it out to trace onto your leather. And if you like the pattern, you'll have the pattern, you know, for more sheaths. So what I do is I start by folding the piece of paper completely in half. And this is something that I learned off of a guy on YouTube. I'll put his link down below so you guys can go over and check him out. Just in case I missed something, he might have it in his video. But I fold it in half, open it, and then I'll draw a line down the center of it. And that's going to be our reference point. This is where you're going to, where your leather sheath is going to be folded in half. So now for the knife. Since I'm going to make another one for the buck knife, what you want to do is, now that you have this, draw, you know, this line down the center, you're going to want to place your knife right, try and get it as centered on that as you can. And once you get it centered, just take your pencil and draw around the outside edges of it. Like so. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you the width of your blade and allow the leather to curl around it. So that's the length of our blade, or of our knife, or the width, excuse me. I'll put a little line right there. That's the bottom, and that's the top. Now you have the length and the width of your knife there. Now what you want to do is take your knife and line up the back edge of the knife along the edge of this side. Once you have that lined up and everything, just bring your line on around and draw out the shape of your knife laying down. So now you have the outline of your knife and the width of your knife. So what I'm going to do is try and decide how big the outside edges of my knife are going to be out here. And when I did this one, I think I did about 1 inch, or did about 3/4, I think. I'm going to go 3/4 on this one and mark a line right there. And I'm just gonna kind of help me out a little. I'm gonna just draw a line like that. Then I'm gonna come up here to the top and draw a line across the top just to give me some reference marks. Now this is how wide right here, 3/4 of an inch, is going to go around the outside. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to start right here and just try and stay 3/4 of an inch around the outside. And going up with it. Now this is where you can, decide on how you want it to work. I did a little decorative and swooped out and then swooped back in, as you can see. I'm going to do the same thing again because I really like this, the way it turned out. So I'm going to come back down a little bit. Since here's the top of my knife, I'm going to come right on the center line and I'm going to swoop it down. And we're going to go out. And that's basically what my sheath is going to look like. Yep, that's basically what the sheath's going to look like. Pretty close. Now, however you decide to do this, it's entirely up to you. This can be thinner in here, which, matter of fact, I think I'm going to make it a little thinner because I want the knife to sit really tight in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and round it here, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch. Yeah, we'll go about 1/2 inch. That way the knife will ride tighter in the sheath. Now you guys can do this any way you want to. You don't have to do it just like I'm doing it. It's going to be your sheath styled for the way you want it to be styled. I just happen to like it like this. There. And my stitching, I'll run my stitching from about here all the way around. And you'll want to run about 1/4 of an inch from the outside edge. Anyhow, guys, that's how it should look. There's the top of your knife. So this is how much of your knife's going to be sticking out of your sheath. If you want less of it sticking out, just go up a little higher with your knife. Alright guys, now what I do is, since we've got the center line there, I'm going to fold it back in half, take my trusty old scissors here, and we're going to cut her out. Okay, now there we go. There's our design of our sheath. Alright guys, now that we've got that done, that piece of leather is not going to work, so I have to cut another piece of leather. The next step will be transferring this to a piece of leather. And I'll get back with you guys here in a few minutes on that. Alright guys, back with you. Now that I've got my piece of leather cut out, I'm just going to lay it on my leather, which I try and cut my leather about as exact as I can get it so I don't have to waste so much. I just lay my template right on top of the piece of leather. And I try and take the finest Sharpie pen I can just to follow the outside edges of it, and I just draw it right on. That's where using this cardstock comes in handy. Sorry about the thunder and lightning guys, but we got some storming going on here. And once you get that all drawn, there. Now we have that drawn out. Now we just cut it out. Like I said earlier, I love these little 99-cent box cutters. They work really well. I've tried one of these. It doesn't seem to be as sharp. It's still a good knife. I get better results with this. If you have an X-Acto knife, that would probably work out really good. Put my eyeballs back on, and here we go. We'll just cut her on out. Alright guys, there we go. We got her all cut out. It doesn't have to be 100% exact, but it has to be pretty close, because when we fold it over and we line everything up, if you got it a little out of whack, that's okay, because when we're done stitching it, we'll go back around the outside with sandpaper or a belt sander to even everything up. Alright guys, that's the installment for the leather and the leather awl, how to draw out your pattern, and how to cut out your leather. The next step we're going to do is how to fix your leather to begin tooling. Alright guys, you want to put any comments or questions down below? I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate you viewing my channel. It means a lot to me. If you guys want to run over and check out my Facebook page, the link will be down below. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you don't, you just waste a few minutes of your time. And with that being said, my friends, Coop out.